Hey there, I'm Dave, the Notion coach, and in this video, we're going to take a look at how to use a browser extension called Save to Notion. This is super helpful in terms of quickly saving and organizing articles, websites, other resources from the internet, and having them go to one particular database in Notion to be able to sort them at a later time or add notes, add highlights. So we're going to get into how it works and how to set it up so that you're capturing the information that you need from that website so that you can have more context in terms of why you saved it, why it's helpful, and how you can act on that particular resource. First thing we're going to need is a library database. So if you don't have a library database set up, the best and fastest way to get this up and running is using a tool called Readwise. Even if you don't end up using the paid version of the plan, you could set up your account, connect it to Notion, and what it'll do is create a library page in your workspace that has specific properties like categories, the author property, any keywords, the full title, link. So kind of get you up and running as quickly as possible. In this case, when we're thinking about Save to Notion, the key properties that are probably going to be most helpful are the category, jotting down the author, and the overview. So this is just a space to quickly jot down a note about that website or article, just so that when you go back and revisit it at a later time, you have some context as to why you saved it in the first place. Other than that, there's a bunch of other properties here that we won't get into, but having a library database so that when you download and start using Save to Notion, you have a place that you're going to be saving these articles rather than saving them to different places and then not really recalling where those articles went. Side note, if you are interested in creating a bookmarks Notion page that you could sync across multiple browsers and even multiple devices, I made a video on that. It was just an idea that came about because I use different computers and kind of had a struggle organizing bookmarks and making sure that they were in sync across different browsers. So set up a Notion page that was designed to do that, and then I just have that open up in every browser. So I'll add a link to that below if you want to check that out. The next thing we're going to do is set up Save to Notion and install it, get it up and running, and then create a form so that we could send websites to Notion. So we're going to search Chrome Web Store and look for Save to Notion here. That one, we're going to click Add Extension. And once we see that pop up on the top right, we're going to expand these extensions and then just pin this to the menu bar so that it's quickly accessible. So now that we've got that set up, we're going to open up an article and click on that icon at the top right. And the first time we use this, we're going to add a form. So this is just going to set up the properties that we want to capture and make sure that we're saving these sites to the right database. So I'm going to click Add a Form, and here you just want to double check that the workspace is correct. You just want to confirm that, and then from here we're going to search for the name of the database and make sure that that comes up here. Cool, so we've got this connected to the database, and now we can decide what information we want to bring in from the article. We do want to clip the page content, so this could be hit or miss. In some cases, if you're reading an article that's paywalled, you might not get all the content into the Notion page, but clicking it by default will just give you that option. So we'll test out to see if that works in this example. The next area is fields. This is defining additional properties that are tied to your library database that you want to bring in from the article. The first one is the title, so that's going to bring in the page title. We're going to add a new field and we're going to select inbox and we're going to check this. So what this is going to do is, if you've got a weekly review process or you want to regularly check in on articles that you've saved, notes that you've written, having an inbox checkbox just gives you a way to filter content across different databases. You can go back in, and once you've acted on that resource or you know what to do with it, you can unclick inbox so that it goes to the right place. The other field that we want to add is the overview. This is going to be a space to jot down notes for the article or for the website, so that you have a better idea of why you save it in the first place. So now that we've got that saved, let's go. We're going to click on the library database. You can have multiple forms if you want to direct websites to different databases, but we'll just use this one for now. And you can see here, it brings in the title automatically. You can also clean this up if you don't want all of this information. So if we scroll down, we could kind of get rid of this information here. And then for the overview, we'll leave that blank for now, but we're going to go ahead and add the page. One last thing to note, if you expand on the additional fields, just making sure that the link is there. And then if you don't want to bring in the icon or the content image, we can delete those. I'll delete the medium icon here and then click add a new page. From here, we have the option to open in Notion. This is just to make sure that it went to the right place. And if you want to add additional information, or if you want to go in and say highlight or add notes, this will be the place to do that. I do want to check if it did bring in. So in this case, it did clip the content, which is great. So that's super helpful. And then the very last step in the process is from this page, if you want to add additional information for later reference. For example, if I want to add I could grab that from here, and we'll go ahead and paste that in this space here. And then category, we'll say this is an article. Notebook, if I want to add this to a particular notebook, this is another database that's connected. And then an overview, we just write great article on focus the workplace. Cool. And then we brought in that image, but if you want to, delete any of this, you can do that here, or you can do that from Save to Notion. So that's just a quick overview on how Save to Notion works. If we go back into our library and we go to inbox, these are all inbox articles. So we can see that article's here, but let me know what you think if you're getting up and running with Save to Notion, if you have any additional questions. Otherwise, when we're thinking about organizing information, it could get really disorganized really quickly. So using tools like Save to Notion could go a long way to staying organized. One last note, I'm launching a live Notion course in October. So if you're interested in staying up to date on that course is really going to be about how to optimize your Notion workspace to maximize creative focus. So if you're interested in learning more, definitely drop your name in there, and I'll be sending out some more information closer to launch. But anyway, hope this video is helpful, and see you in the next one.